Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 8. So over the past week, we've just wrapped up the 5-part Armageddon event, which of course kicked off this season, The Flash. And I think I can speak for most people when I say it was quite the success, with most enjoying what was offered both in regards to action, story, mystery, and just, overall, and I guess most importantly, just how fun it was. It was a fun 5-episode thing to start off the season, and I definitely wouldn't be against like similar things to this happening in the future, not only on The Flash, but some of the other shows as well. But of course, one of the main focuses of the event and one of the thorns in Barry and Team Flash's side was that of your boy, Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, but also, I guess, aka The Flash in the Reverse Flashpoint timeline. Now, he ended the event in a very new and interesting area for that character. Team Flash, and specifically Barry, have him where they want him. He isn't the one in the position to pull the strings like usual, so this has many curious as to where we could see the character go in the near future, and that's sort of the main point of this video. We got a decent amount to talk about. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your general thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below, and if your opinions differ, or if you have a different thought or theory as to where things could go. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking, and I think my comment section is one of the better forums to put them in. But yeah, let me know all that in the comments, and of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, excited for what's to come, why not drop a like on the video to show your support. So in episode 5, or, the final part of the Armageddon event, we had Reverse Flash in the present day following the rewriting of the timeline back to what it should be thanks to Barry with the help of Damien Dark. But the issue is that Reverse Flash is slowly fading away, or, dying off in this timeline due to not belonging to it, and needs Barry's help to stop this from happening. Now, of course, this caused a dilemma for Barry as well as the rest of Team Flash, but in the end, we do see Barry spare Eobard's life by stopping the process of him being deleted and everything like that. But this comes with a cost for Eobard, as he has to be disconnected from the negative speed force, which, once it is done, sends Eobard into an angry state where, yeah, he definitely has his eyes on more revenge and payback for Barry. But, after all this, he is sent off to Argus, as letting him just roam around in the present day is just as dangerous as letting him go into the future with speed as well. But with Eobard and Argus, what happens next? Both with this version that is in Argus and any other version of Eobard from the timeline that is out there, which would be the case. Well, in regards to this season and the version that was in episode 5 and was taken away to Argus, I think that there has to be a specific reason that they decided to go and keep him in the present day. Yeah, sure, let him go back to the future, like unsupervised, and, just let him go there would probably just end up with him repeating the process that made him Reverse Flash in the first place. That's a very high chance of happening. But they could also have just put him in a future Iron Heights or future prison thing, or in like a future Argus like we saw in season 5. But this time tell like Nora and I guess any other gullible person in that future not to believe anything that this clearly evil and psychotic dude is telling them. So with him in the present day, I think the show has plans to utilize Eobard in some way, shape or form later this season. Maybe when dealing with another evil speedster, someone maybe more deadly than Eobard. Maybe not more like, maybe not a speedster more nefarious and just psychotic as Eobard is and petty, but just someone who is more powerful or just has more deadly motives in regards to everyone on Earth. Or maybe it could just be something from the future that Eobard may have insight on and could be a big helping hand on that has nothing to do with the speedster, but maybe just like another villain. The issue that could come about with that is that I'm sure Eobard wouldn't just help them. Just go, oh yeah, I'm fine with helping you. I'm feeling like a really nice and helpful guy now. He would want something in return, which would either be his speed back or just a return to the future where he could do it on his own. And you would expect Team Flash not to do that, but I guess if the threat at hand is big enough, that they would give up anything to stop whatever or whoever it may be. But for the sake of, this topic and this argument, let's say Eobard isn't released, and that version is set to stay in Argus for good, or for at least the near future. They have no intention to let him go. Does that mean there would be, no longer be a version of Reverse Flash running around, being a nuisance to Barry and just the timeline as a whole? Well, no. You would have to think that there would be a reversion of Reverse Flash out there in the timeline for Barry to interact with. Maybe not intentionally, but it just happens because that's what Reverse Flash does, which would, and I guess should, be a different looking version. But would it be a younger version around Barry's age, or just around that portion of where Reverse Flash would start off? Or would it be like a Matt Letscher looking version? Because it is important to remember that chat that Eobard and Barry had in episode 5. Don't remember it clearly? Well, let's go over it again. So throughout the fifth and last episode of the Armageddon event, we do get a moment where Eobard, or a moment or a scene, I guess, where Eobard tells Barry the story of their first encounter, or at the very least, like the root of Eobard's hate for Barry. Where Eobard in the future, like 2 centuries from now, has figured out how to give himself speed and make himself a speedster, having looked up to the Flash and what he did. But as Eobard was about to make his big coming out party to the city as this speedster in the future, this, fast hero, Barry as the Flash appears while involved with a case and steals Eobard's thunder. Barry stole Eobard's moment, humiliating Eobard, even though that of course wasn't Barry's intention. And that moment set off the events that we have seen and heard about throughout the years to come. So could we see this, and also like what follows soon after, play out on the show, in the near future? Because if this is like some sort of teaser as to what's to come, we could get like a restart or a soft reboot. No, maybe not a soft reboot, just a restart is probably the better way to put it, to the Reverse Flash story by getting the filling in of the Reverse Flash and Barry's story. We have seen the fallout, Barry's mother being killed and all of that. But what about the lead up? The building of that rivalry. I want to see it. You want to see it. Everyone wants to see it. We don't know clearly how long Barry and Reverse Flash feuded in Eobard's sort of like timeline of years before the killing of Nora. So they could have Matt Letscher play that version. I think he would still be able to do it. Like the question of age, like, oh my God, Tom Cavanaugh's too old. Matt Letscher and Tom Cavanagh aren't ridiculously off in age, and Tom Cavanagh's a fit dude. So that argument is sort of mute. It's just that it would be a different version that fits the logic of where that Reverse Flash is coming from as a character. However, if it's meant to be an Eobard, right at the beginning of him being Reverse Flash or close to it, maybe in like his early to mid 30s or something around Barry's age, then a younger actor, I guess, should be used. But the casting process for that would be one hell of a stressful one. Like they would have to nail it. Imagine them having to cast a new main Reverse Flash to be against Barry, against Grant Gustin, after you've had Tom Cavanagh, as well as a good backup in Matt Letscher. I say backup because he's been in less episodes. Imagine that. That would be one hell of a stressful casting process, because you've got two actors, that fit the role really, really well and nail it pretty much when they play that character. So imagine having to cast that and also maybe being the person who gets cast in that role. A lot to live up to. But in regards to potential stories going forward with Reverse Flash, this will be the last thing I talk about, and also it might be the thing that you might be able to help with in the comments if I don't mention something here, or maybe you can add on to something I mention. So the first one I have is a story arc that shows us that story that Eobard told us, but also more of it. So like the direct fallout, and I guess the first proper battle between the Flash and Reverse Flash. So we can see emotionally how invested Eobard is, and that he wasn't like this maybe overly psychotic dude. Like Eobard wasn't like a goody two-shoes or anything, and a hero in his own right before wanting to become a speedster. If you read the comics, that's not what Eobard is like, and you should know by his actions that wasn't what was really deep down there. It was more for really like, a bit of a flex, if you want to call it, and a bit of clout. That's what he was sort of aiming for. So I'd love to see the build up to that. The moment he's talking about where Barry comes in, steals the thunder, the direct fallout, and the first encounter and the first proper battle between the Flash and Reverse Flash, where there would be a loser and a winner. I'd say the Flash probably wins that battle, but you never know. You never know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that would be one arc I would love to see. The next one is the lead up to the night Nora Allen is murdered by Eobard. Now, I think this is the one you would use as the last ever storyline on the show. This is the last ever storyline on the show. It leads up to the series finale, and it connects and makes a full circle from this, the end of the series to season 1, episode 1, the pilot, when we see Barry as a young kid see the yellow blur kill his mum. I think that would be the perfect full circle thing and the best way to end the show. So that would be a storyline I'd like to see happen at the end, but I think you need another Reverse Flash story at the beginning. You need another Reverse Flash story before that, I think, which could either be that first one that I'm saying there, where it's like that origin story in the first proper battle, or it could be this last one we're going to talk about. And this would be a big story that takes place between those two moments. So it's all like the meat in the sandwich, if you want to call it. So you have this event that maybe involves the Flash family of speedsters against Reverse Flash and maybe some other villains. Maybe the Reverse Flash leading a different group of rogues. That'd be fairly cool. So what it would be is that you get this big event, not a big event thing, but like this big storyline that could be argued as event. Maybe it's something like Armageddon, where it's the Flash leading his captain of heroes against the Reverse Flash and his captain of villains. And what this would do is create this bigger feeling thing with the Reverse Flash versus Barry, which would then lead into that more personal story, leading up to the night Nora Allen is murdered by Eobard. So you have that bigger thing beforehand before you get into a more personal story that then ends off the series potentially. So I think you want the lead up to the night Nora Allen is murdered by Eobard as one storyline definitely. And then you could probably pick, if there's only two, you have to pick between the other ones to accompany that series finale ending storyline, if you want to call it. If I had to pick one, I know I feel like the origin thing is cool because I just think we've seen a lot of like big things where it's, a group of like, speedsters versus Reverse Flash. So I think I would go with the origin one. But if I didn't get that, I think I'd settle with a bit like the big story, with the Flash family versus Reverse Flash and maybe another group of villains or something. I think I could settle for that one. But I think we need like a storyline with the lead up to the night Nora Allen is murdered. I think that's a must. Like, I don't know how you don't do that to finish off the show, whether it's a 5-episode storyline, whether it's 3, just something like that, I think would be perfect. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully we find out more about Reverse Flash later this season and what they're doing with the character. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on everything we went over. If you have any more options for stories as well, I'm always curious to read them. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.